sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. A little late getting on. There was an issue back at the studio. And why I'm laughing is Dan the Man Butcher said yes, he got sidetracked because he's cussing at the studio. So, sorry, I found that really hysterical on my end. I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, folks, but you know how it goes. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded the show to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. And the reason why I spell that out is I had someone who thought it was the numeric one. So it would be like, I'm pretty sure you get what I mean. Now, when you go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream, and don't forget to subscribe to that channel. Just click the little button. There's a lot of clicking, but it's real easy. If you want to support the show and you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Oh. Thank you, Dan. That made my day. So I got woke up of one of the radiology companies around here calling me and telling me now that I have an appointment tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the frig? Not, hey, when do you need an appointment? Just that, oh, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, you need to be here. Well, needless to say, I'm going to call them back. So I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not because I might have a radiology appointment. They're going to scan my cat for me, see if it's still working. Hopefully, guys. Hopefully, people get a lot of the jokes that I throw. I throw a lot of low-level reference to movies. Because it was, Friday Night Lights? No. Dang, I can't remember the movie. It was at Texas football, high school football. Hey, Cal. And the big heavyset guy gets a concussion. He has to go get a CAT scan, and he comes back and they scanned my cat. So, let's get on with the show. And if you guys were not around for the Side Month show last night, you missed out. And what you really missed out on was the Sackhead radio. Oh my God. I can't even explain how funny it was. I think it was Lusty the Dominatrix, or Dominatrix. I forget who the transsexual was that called. It was frigging hysterical. Probably right after my show, they cut just that little bit out and threw it by itself, and I think it's going to be on right after my show. So kind of tune in. You'll laugh your ass off. So, how is everybody doing? A lot is still going on in the news. It's So we have, as everybody knows, Ted Cruz dropped out. And then yesterday, right around, I think it was noontime, 12:30, Kasich had canceled a speech in West Virginia and scheduled a 5 o'clock press conference, which kind of glad that Kasich didn't get elected as president, because that man's campaign cannot keep a secret. No, I'm sorry, it cannot keep a secret. Everybody and their mother knew what the 5 o'clock press conference was about. It leaked out so bad, everybody knew. And it wasn't, they didn't try any trickery. Yep, that's what it's going to be. And, well, then why have a press conference if everything's all leaked out? It just, but Kasich has suspended his campaign. That doesn't mean people still don't have that they don't have to vote now. No, we still need you to come out and make sure that Trump wins California, Trump wins New Jersey, those two states, and it's pretty much done. I mean, he's the only candidate left, but he still has to get to the 1237, and there is a group of never Trump crybabies that are still trying to stop Trump and trying to get Cruz elected. This group is doing more harm than good. They are of a minority. And, of course, I'm hearing that the Libertarian Party doubled in membership yesterday. So, what, they jumped up to like 25 people now? 30? Listen, I've discussed it before. I looked into joining the Libertarian Party. I was going to go Libertarian Party, but one thing. This mentality that the supporters have, that this never Trump has, which I already think most of them are all libertarian as it is, and all of a sudden libertarian pops into it. Of course, that's who was supporting him, libertarians already. So now they're trying to draw a little bit more support, and their end goal, everybody already knows, they don't care if Hillary gets elected. They're so conservative, they do not care if Hillary gets elected. In fact, some of them prefer if Hillary gets elected. That's how conservative these people are. But all they care is that they can get a candidate nationwide, elected, or not even elected, voted up to 20%. Because then their candidate and their party is recognized nationally. That's all they care about. They will screw this country over. And they don't care. They don't give a shit about the Constitution. They don't give a shit about the conservatives. They don't care about Glenn Doherty or any of those gentlemen. And I'm not trying to use their names, but they don't care because they are trying to put in Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton is the one that killed 4 Americans and turned her back and lied over their coffins. Straight to the surviving family members. And they do not care. They would burn this country down to the ground as long as they got their way. And they have this mentality of if you don't blindly follow them and agree 100% with them, they will attack you. And, you don't believe in the Constitution. I get sick of that shit right there real quick. Real quick, that got me. And that's when I went, nope, they're just as bad as the Democrats. And maybe that's not what the party's about, but that's the people that you have in your party. That is your outward appearance to everybody. So why should I or anybody else want to join a party that's willing to burn the fucking nation down to the ground? That's willing to let the butcher of Benghazi get elected, And you have to blindly follow, and you can't have your own opinion. You can't have your own thoughts. So why join a party like that? And those are the ones that are left holding the Never Trump bag. And there was a little impromptu poll done yesterday. And it was to the Cruz supporters and inevitably the Never Trump crybabies. And it asked the Cruz supporters, will you support the nominee? 75% said yes, they will support whoever the nominee is. 25% said no. So 25% of 4 million people. No, 6 million. I'm sorry. I'll make sure I get that right. They're willing to burn this They're willing to burn this country down because they didn't get their way. These are the same people when the Trump supporters were complaining about all this backdoor delegate deals and telling us to sit down and shut up, that's the way the rules go. To sit down, that's the way it goes, and you don't have a say in it. Well, we did have a say in it. And now you need to sit down and shut up because the rules are saying that Trump is the nominee. But no, you're going to act like little children, and it's a small percentage of them. And I know we're supposed to give them time. You know what? I gave time. And they've been acting like little children. Listen, I use foul language all the time. I know that, and I know I shouldn't. It's the way I talk. I'm a Jersey boy. And that's the other thing is I understand where Trump's coming from. I'm from Jersey. It is the way we talk. It is the way we act. And I keep hearing Texans mostly. Listen, I don't care what country or state you live in. You care about America? Fine. But when you're going to sit there, and it's majority, as I said, Texans that are doing this, pointing their finger and, oh, there's goddamn Northeast, they're nothing but a bunch of fucking liberals. So you don't want to elect a New York politician. Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't want to elect a Texan as president. Texas, since the day it became part of the United States, has been trying to leave the Union. It has been trying to succeed from the Union. So yeah, you're real patriotic, Texas. You're so patriotic you don't want to be a part of the United States. It's one way or the other. And I've come across a lot of Texans, and they are very patriotic to the United States. But don't sit there and bash one part of the country and then have your state trying to leave the Union. Because that is not patriotic. And it's not like, okay, they don't agree with Obama, that's why they want to succeed. Every year since they got in this Union, every year since they became a state, they have been trying to leave. So please, don't bash the Northeast. Because there's an expression my father used to say, don't throw stones when you live in glass houses. And with that, we'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Listen, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not trying to bash Texas as a whole. I even said, I know several Texans that are very patriotic. I am being broadcasted through High Plains Pundit Radio, which is out of Texas. I do not have a problem with Texas, but if you're going to point your fingers at certain things, make sure that your house is in order. And there is people that are just, seems like they're trying to cause problems just to cause problems. Now, I want to see everybody get along. There is just a minority that want to be destructive. They already cost us 2012. I would almost put money, it's the same people that are crying about Trump are the ones that were crying about Romney and cost us the election in 2012. I know there's some people that are not happy about Trump. But a lot of them are saying, you know what, he is the nominee, this is the process, these are the rules of the party. The majority of the people have spoken. Fine. And just like if Ted Cruz would have won, I would have not been happy. And I would have backed Ted Cruz. But you just got this group that are so dead set on burning the country down just because Ted Cruz did not get the nomination this time around. I talked about it yesterday with Sackhead Sean. He talked about it last night on his show. I think this, in my opinion, taught him a little humility. I know the supporters don't think that, they think he walks on water and he made no mistakes and he did nothing wrong. Well, to the majority of the country, of the Republican Party, he made a lot of mistakes. But that is part of politics. He gets to learn from his mistakes now, correct what he did wrong, and come back in another 4 or 8 years. He is young. Another 4 to 8 years, he can come back and be stronger and be better than he was. It's a learning experience. I honestly think if we can get Trump, when we get Trump elected, Ted Cruz is better served in this country, better served as a Supreme Court justice than as a president. As a president, he might get 8 years. Might. But as a Supreme Court justice, he would be the voice of the conservatives for 20, 30, maybe 40 years. That's a lot of time for him to serve the conservative party. But nobody looks at the other things. Everybody sees he has to go for the top position. Not always being the chief is the best position for everybody. Not everybody is bound to be a chief. Sometimes there's other positions that you're bound for. And if you think that's a knock, it's not. I'm trying to actually give him a compliment that I think he is better. He'd be better served, and he's better than just being a president, a figurehead. I think he'd be better served as a Supreme Court justice. So, I want to show the stupidity of the anti-gun people. Okay? The Brady campaign has a new ad out. And it shows 2 masked men peeking in a door. And the statement is, these criminals are breaking into your home to rob you, rape your children, and kill your dog. Now, this is their campaign against guns. So, again, these criminals are breaking into your home to rob you, rape your children, and kill your dogs. Do you really think that shooting them is going to change their plan? Guns are not the answer. Call 911 and wait. I got to come up with a special award just for the fucking idiot. The window-licking, helmet-wearing moron that came up with that. Oh, let's point it out that they're going to still rob and rape your kids. And that you need to call 911 and sit and wait while your kid's being raped and murdered. Yeah. Now, I found this last night, and it's been a while since I saw the article, and yes, it does still get me a little. And I was reading it last night, and now, it's an article that was written many years ago. I didn't even know that the New York Times covered it. I did not know it until last night. Hang on, I'm trying to. It's in the region. Worker is slain in New Jersey shooting. One worker at a sandblasting plant was killed, and a second was seriously wounded today when an unidentified man fired a handgun at them and then fled. The authorities said that the shooting had occurred at Blast Track Service Center, a sandblasting company that recently opened on Route 130 in Yardville section of this Mercer County community. The one man that was killed was 35 years old. A spokesman at the Hamilton Hospital said the wounded man, my father, 43 of Lawrence Township, was in critical condition with wounds of the abdomen, shoulder, and chin. They had very few clues, and they still don't to that. They still don't to this day. So, yeah, my father sat and waited because he couldn't defend himself in the state of New Jersey. We sat and waited as all those surgeries, something like 23 surgeries in 10 years. We sat and waited and watched as my father was tortured with all this pain and medical issues. Yeah, I won't wait again. My father had to stand there and wait his turn to be shot. It won't happen to me. If you come in my house, you're not coming in to do good. I'm not waiting for the police. Especially since I've had to call the police a couple times. And once it took half hour, 45 minutes, for a man that was trying to break in my house. The other time was a man looking in my daughter's window, and that was an hour and a half response. So, tell me how sitting and waiting is supposed to protect my family. I challenge anyone in the Brady campaign that had a hand in this dumbass, moronic campaign to call up. Let's come on the show. Explain your idiocy. Explain how sitting around waiting is supposed to help. And yes, Cal, when someone was looking at my daughter's window, it was an hour and a half before the sheriff's department finally showed up, and their excuse was, you didn't say he was still here, so there was no emergency. And as I responded to them, if you had got off your ass and got here in time, you might have seen somebody walking away and at least got a description of what they looked like and been able to possibly catch back up with them. That's the one thing I don't like in my county. The police get to decide what's an emergency and what's not. Where I'm from in New Jersey, it's an emergency till we get there and we figure out what's going on. Because God knows how many times I came at phantom, I guess, at how high the percentage was of I would get dispatched for a medical issue on the ambulance and show up, and it had nothing to do with what we were originally dispatched for. I've got called out for bullshit limb injury and get there and the person was in fucking cardiac arrest. Now, if we would have taken at face value what we were called in for, we wouldn't have rushed it. But yet the person was in cardiac arrest. I've been on scene before with a biker, motorcyclist, like a little pedal bike, hit by a car. You rush for that. But what didn't go across the air was the guy went through the windshield and sliced jugular, everything. So he was bleeding out very quickly. We were doing the best we could until the ambulance got there and the medics got there. They got there pretty quick because we responded to all calls as if they are emergency until we figure out what's going on. But yet, Hillsborough County, Florida sheriffs think they can just ignore what's going on. And like I said, I had a guy actively trying to break in my window. And it took a half hour for them to get here. See, I wasn't too worried about him trying to break in because I'm standing at the window. He can't see me. I got my handgun drawn and my German Shepherd standing right there. So, being from New Jersey, I'm still trying to get used to all the laws and how it goes. So I called and complained and ended up talking with a lieutenant the next day. And he's like, oh, wait a minute, you're concealed carry? I said, yes, but, I go out and I pull my weapon, and then I get arrested because I pull my weapon. He's like, no, if you're on your property, you can. Don't go shooting kids that are pulling a prank, but if someone's sitting there trying to break in, you have the right to pull your weapon to protect yourself. And he goes, you said you have a German Shepherd. Next time, bring him out. I'm like, well, I'm used to New Jersey. If my German Shepherd would attack, I could get sued. He goes, no, it don't work that way down here. If that person's on your property and trying to break in, you go ahead and protect yourself. I was like, cool. But it's scary. I got to go to all these, and I don't live in a bad area. But we're supposed to sit and wait and watch our loved ones get raped, killed, assaulted, and wait for law enforcement to show up. That is the most idiotic, and I hate to use this term, and oh God, I'm going to hate myself for saying, but brain dead idea to, if your kids might get raped, but it's not going to stop them from breaking in your house. No, it won't, but it will stop them from ever doing it again when you put a bullet through their fucking head. They will never commit a crime again. They will never try to rape and murder again. They might get the act started. They'll never do it again. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I am making sense out of the senseless. Trying to do some math in my head real quick. I didn't. It's the Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. And don't forget to subscribe to the live stream. Just hit subscribe button, and all will be good. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. So, I don't understand the Brady campaign. They actually were putting out an ad that helps the pro-gun side. That's so that and back. Listen. If you were against Trump, this is the process. Yes, I keep hearing, well, God and all the. Well, you know what? Maybe God chose Donald Trump because there is a dirty job that is ahead of him.
Maybe because it is a job that takes a special person to do. Maybe God chose Donald Trump to be that person because Donald Trump is a person that can get down and dirty. Not all of God's warriors are pristine angel. Some of them, God bless it. Hang on. Not all of God's warriors are perfect angels. And just like in America, sometimes we need some people that may the black ops type people I'm talking about. They may not always be up and above, but sometimes there's jobs that you need some low and dirty people. And I think the condition of this country, and I've always heard all my life, God has a plan. That's why. God has his reasons. And it's funny now people are turning away from that just because they don't. God bless this dang board. I'm about to switch channels. Just because they don't like who God may have chosen. And then I keep getting thrown at me, and several of us, is we're not conservative enough. We're not Christian anymore. Because the minority's not getting its way. So you're going to lash out and tell us how we are not conservative enough, how we are not Christian enough because you do not see what's going on. You do not agree with what's going on. So you're going to lash out and insult all of us? Well, you do not tell me whether I'm Christian enough or conservative enough. The only one I got the answer to with any of this is God. And the day I go is the day I'll have to answer. But everybody says God always has all these plans, but when it doesn't suit them, then we hear all this, what's going on now. Well, maybe this is God's plan, and he needs one of those down and dirty warriors. One of those warriors that even Cruz said he couldn't be. So, I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm also saying it might be the case. We won't know until the day we meet our Maker. So please stop throwing religion at me, and it's God doesn't want this, and God doesn't want that. I find it funny that all these people speak on behalf of God. All these people don't have the same story of what God wants. I'm not out here to bash religion, but don't use God as an excuse for you to throw a temper tantrum. As so many Never Crews pointed out, these are the rules. This is the process. See, I'm not going to tell you to sit down and shut up because, well, it's not the way to do it. But also burning down our country is not the way to do it. Scarborough to Cruz, come around to support Trump if you want a future in politics. And I even said earlier that, yes, he needs to help bring the party. And he talked about it in his speech Tuesday night when he stepped down, suspended his campaign. He talked about the healing and coming back together. And I'm not saying that it's his fault. It's not his fault that this all happened. It's a combination. There's a lot of different moving parts that really made this go downhill. But he had to step out when he did. If not, he was going to keep tarnishing his reputation. He kept talking about how he is a man of the people. He has all this principle. This is how people should act. But he wasn't living up to those principles. Well, Tuesday, he finally lived up to them and stepped away. I know it's going to take probably a couple of days, and some people, oh, no, he has to come out. No. I think we need to give him just a little space. That was a down and dirty fight. But I don't see him being a person to hold a grudge. Or when you're competing, you compete to win. And I'm not justifying what any side did. But you can't change what happens. Let's go forward. Be adults. Now, the main objective is to beat Hillary. That should be the number one thought on any conservative. If you call yourself conservative, if you think you're conservative, if you are a Republican, your number one thing should be putting all this bullshit to the side. And our number one thing is to stop Hillary. And there was a gentleman last night that two people were going back and forth. And one of them came out, I'm a Marine, and yada, yada, and I didn't. I'm not going to attack him, but I just stated and said, if anything, as a Marine, you should want to stand up against Hillary. You should want to stand next to the men that fought and the ones that died in Benghazi. The ones that Hillary turned her back on. Those are the ones we should be thinking of right now. Not about, oh, well, Ted Cruz didn't get in, so I'm so upset. Or, oh, yes, Trump made it. No, we should be worried about, let's get Hillary out of here. That should be our number one concern. Nothing else. Get Hillary the hell out of here. Stand up for the gentlemen who fought and were left to die in Benghazi. Put your differences aside and do it for Chris Parantu, Mark Geis, Glenn Doherty, Chris Stevens, John Teagan. Oh, man, I'm drawing a complete blank, and I apologize. Sean Smith. I'm missing someone. Let me start over. Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, Glenn Doherty, Chris Parantu, Mark Geis, John Teagan. There's a host of other names, but we should be standing up and fighting for them. Hillary is the enemy. Hillary does not deserve to be where she is. Besides all the other crap she's pulled over the years, her and her husband, Hillary does not deserve to be running for president. And we should be coming together to stop that. And if you are saying you would rather see Hillary, then you are the enemy. You are not a conservative. And you are not a Republican. And I have some other doubts of what you are. But it's not my place to doubt that. But when you turn your back on our military people, when you sit there and say, Hillary, you're okay with her, You're okay with the 4 murders. Yeah. You're okay with how Benghazi came about. It's time to grow up. It's time to stand up to this evil woman. It is Tyrone Woods and Glenn Woods cannot stand up for themselves now. They gave the ultimate sacrifice, and so many people are ready to already forget about those 2 brave Navy SEALs that gave their lives. You're ready to give it up and hand the reins over to Hillary so that more military can get killed, more Americans can get killed, so she can make a profit. You think you know what Trump's going to do. We know what Hillary is going to do. We know what she has done. But yet, you're okay with Hillary. And I'm not the conservative. Yeah. Well, I'll fight for the nominee. I'll fight for Chris Pronto. I'll fight for Mark, John, Chris, Tyrone. I'll keep fighting. I'm not going to bend over for Hillary. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Where am I? There am I. Can't walk and chew gum today. If you want to watch a live stream, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. Don't forget to subscribe to that live stream. And if you want to support the show or SHR as... Hold on. I got in yesterday one of the new batches of T-shirts. SHR on the front and the Reaver of Common Sense on the back. Bunch of different shirts. I mean, there is a bunch of different shirts. I even got nice female no-sleeve shirts. My daughter... I got her a jersey and a shirt, and first thing I heard is this one I'm wearing to school tomorrow. She wore the one T-shirt or the jersey last night. She wore that to judo. So, pick up. There's a bunch out there. We don't make really a profit off it. I think at like $1 we make. And I know Kel's got her shirt coming, and we will be start posting some pictures of people being Reavers. All right, I'm going to give a little backstory, just because I don't think Kel's heard this. Chris Pronto. I had made a promise to him back in 2014 that I was always have his back, and that is why I will back him and all the guys of Benghazi to the hill. We're going to go back to 2012, night of Benghazi. I never talked my politics out in the open. Never did. Because as an EMT, we need to keep neutral. We need to keep our mouth shut. My career was winding down because of my injuries. But that night it happened, and we were blaming a video. And I that's when I said I had enough. And I put this long spiel on Facebook about how I'm tired, even if it is over a video, that I didn't give a shit. They bash Christians left, right, and center. They bash them. Oh, no, I didn't tell the whole story today till now. A long time ago I told it. And they bash Christians all they want, and there's no repercussions. And even if it was over a video, that still did not excuse them from murdering. So that was the start of it. Then, come 2014, I'm getting tired of the way things are going. I made a Twitter account, really started talking on Facebook and Twitter. I didn't feel my voice was getting out. I'm not a salesman. I don't have a lot of followers. I really don't worry about that kind of stuff. But I didn't feel my voice was getting out. And a few of the people I was following and talking with on Facebook, one of them was Wayne from War Radio. We Are America's Radio.
And one of them was actually Bunny Fufu at the time. And they told me, well, here's what you need to do. Get a mic, get these free programs, start doing a podcast, just throw it up on Twitter. People will start listening. Okay, I started doing that. Shows weren't that great, I'll admit. But Wayne, we started talking about going on his radio. And then Sean came along. Sackhead Sean. And he made me the offer to come on the station. And just something about it, I felt that was the fit. So I took him up. I think it was both me and him talking back and forth and asking an offer and whatever. And then I was on Twitter and I saw Chris one day. And I knew a little bit about Benghazi. I didn't know everything about it. And I saw that he was the survivor. So I sent him a tweet and said, hey, I got a little podcast. Can I interview you? And he immediately jumped back. And this was, I think, as his book was coming out or right before his book came out. No, it had just come out. And he was, yes, no problem. Contact this person. I want to do this. I was like, okay. So I let Sean know, and Sean was ecstatic about it. He's like, holy shit, this is big. He's like, you got to go live with this. And I was like, what do you mean I got to go live? I'll just record it. And no, we're going live. So that's what happened. 2 shows before I'm to do the interview, Sean had me going live to start to get used to doing the live shows. And from talking to Chris, it became friends. Chris is a great man. He makes everybody feel comfortable. Did the interview. Everything that end went down good. But I got embarrassed because the equipment that I had issues with the sound, all that. And that's why I kind of went nuts over the last couple of years doing this. Now, we were going to elections. Then I got sick, so I needed to take a little time off. And then some issues happened with my wife. And I had to take a leave. But also when it came time, and then I said, I sent a text. I forget when it was. Shit, it's been over a year I've been back on the radio. And I sent a text to Sean. I said, am I still welcome? He's like, hell yes, we've been waiting for you. We wanted to give you all the time you need. We knew you had the issue going on at home. But yeah, we've been waiting for you. When you want to come back? I was like, yeah, just give me a little bit. I got to finish a couple things up with what's going on. And I also had to get that, the urge to do it. Oh, if it wasn't for Chris, I wouldn't be here. I know some people are like, God damn, Chris. It was Chris that got me inadvertently doing it live. His situation is the one that made me start speaking out. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. I will always back him. And just this past summer, Chris was doing a speaking engagement. It was 3 hours from my house. I said, you know what? I've never met the man. I told him I was going to buy him a beer. So I paid to go. And I showed up. And it was a couple hours before it started. I saw him. He was doing an interview out in lobby area next to the bar. So, I got up, headed over, grabbed a beer, one for me, one for him, walked over to the table, and I excused myself. I said, Chris, I know you don't know me, but I told you back in 2014 I was going to buy you a beer when I interviewed you. And then he kind of looked at me. I was like, SHR, Jersey Joe, and hey, sit down. And, he makes everybody feel so welcome. I'm like, no, you're doing an interview. I don't want to interfere. And he's like, oh, no, everything's wrapping up. Oh, you staying for the speech? And, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, come on. We got to go do some stuff. And, he had me right there next to him, while he's doing all this stuff. And he just makes you feel like you're important. He makes you feel welcome. He is who he is. And what you see when you see him on the interviews, that's him. But I had promised that I will always have his back. I will have the back of Mark and John and Chris, Glenn, Tyrone, all of them, and Sean. And saying that you're willing to let Hillary get in as president is giving a big middle finger to those guys. It is pissing on the grave of the 4 that lost their lives. Now, I hate to put it that way. I'm sorry. This is a witch that lied right to the family's face while standing over the coffins. She lied. She lied right to them and had no problem doing it. And you say it's okay if she becomes president? Nah. Sorry. And that's why I would have even voted Cruz. I would have voted Kasich. Hell. I would have voted Lindsey Graham over Hillary Clinton. So when you tell me that Never Trump is okay, and you're part of Never Trump, and you're part of the Libertarians, and you're okay with Hillary getting the nomination, well, you're okay with the deaths of Benghazi. Don't tell me I'm not conservative, I'm not Christian. You're okay with those deaths, and you're going to stand side by side with the butcher of Benghazi and allow it. Think about that before you go and say that you're okay with Hillary becoming president. Just because your nominee did not get the nod. And yes, saying, I'm going to write in Ted Cruz. It is going to be a tight battle. We're going to need every vote. And I've tried not to bash any of the Cruz. I know I've gone at them, the supporters. Not because of them supporting Cruz, but because of the issues that were going on. And both sides, I've said time and time again, both sides of this battle are not innocent. I'm tired of hearing how innocent Ted Cruz was. Tired of hearing how innocent their supporters were. Both sides between Trump and Cruz are not innocent. So put your big boy panties on. The American process, the Republican Party process, has Trump as the nominee. Now, I have had to stand arm in arm with people I don't like to fight a greater cause. We could do it again. You don't have to like me, but we have a greater enemy. And I know I feel like I'm being very preachy today on this whole thing. But we need to come together to fight Hillary. And that is just the direct underline of this whole conversation is we need to fight Hillary. Not each other. And I think Ted Cruz understood that. All the bravado and all the other stuff that's going on, he understood what was at stake of her. We now have a head start on the battle against the butcher. The butcher and the predator. Because she put an article out, Bill Clinton is coming out of retirement. And I think she's required, and he's required to make that announcement, because when a sexual predator is moving into your area, you have to announce that they are moving in. And this sexual predator of women is coming out of retirement. So they made the announcement to let everybody know that he is on his way to a neighborhood near you. So lock up your women. Well, maybe not lock up, but you better watch them, because that sexual predator is going to be out and about again. And he's going to be out there on behalf of Hillary. I don't see how anybody can say they're okay with Hillary. Between the butcher of Benghazi and the sexual predator Bill Clinton, the policies that he has made economically and trade-wise didn't damage the country right away, but it took time. It was a ticking time bomb, and it went off. So, if you're okay with that, and if you want to tell me I'm not conservative, and that's conservative values of backing Hillary Clinton, I'll gladly agree. I will gladly agree I'm not a conservative. I'll raise my hand and say, thank you, Lord. I am not a conservative if it means backing Hillary Clinton, the butcher of Benghazi, and the sexual predator Bill Clinton. Hell. I'm glad not to be a conservative if it means that. But I look at it, and it's a bunch of small group of people. What, 20-25% of 6 million? Trying to think of the math in my head, but I suck at that, so give me a second. That's what 1.5 million people, roughly. I could be way wrong. I suck at math. But you get the point that the Never Cruise, there's not as many as it's made out to be. Never was. And there's even less of them now that they want to go over this. Brain fart. Huge brain fart. I don't think I'm not the conservative. I think the ones that are willing to stand by her. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundits Radio. We will be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am making sense out of the senseless. Well, the Jersey Takeover is here and has been here for a while. And for those that don't know, we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, you can. You can go to Reaver.1, click on the live stream, and watch my ugly mug. You know what? Hit subscribe and get a good laugh. If you want to support the show, if you want to become a Reaver, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1, click on the Reaver store. So, as much as I find the article funny, the titling was, to me, hysterical. I don't totally agree. And we need every vote we can get for this general election. But something just is gnawing at me saying this might be a landslide to Trump. Not because I'm a Trump supporter, just I don't think Hillary is as popular as people think. And once we get to the general and everybody's free to vote for who they want, I think we might have more people voting Trump than is given credit. But the article this time, it's from Pat Cadell, and he says it's a alien versus predator general election. It's a heavyweight fight between Trump and Clinton. And it is a heavyweight fight. But sometimes even heavyweight fights end quickly. Veteran pollster Pat Cadell says on Breitbart News, if the Democrats had a fair primary in place, Hillary Clinton would already be out of the race, and that an election between Donald Trump and Clinton is sure to be a heavyweight fight. Look, we have Hillary Clinton, the Democrat Party, a coordinated candidate in a rigged political system with the greatest political machine in history. I like that, Kel. I hope Trump stomps the Godzilla. and the entire Democrat leadership in the country and the party on board for her, no matter what crimes she has committed. And you have a 74-year-old socialist who has taken her to the wall. Well, it's kind of funny. Debbie Was-A-Man Schultz has come out recently and said, yes, they have those the super delegates. That way, they do not have a rogue person taking control of the party. So, in other words, they just told the Democrat supporters, fuck you, we don't give a shit what you think or what you want. We are going to elect who we want, the elite. They just gave a huge middle finger. A huge middle finger to the people, the Democratic people. And holy shit, that's too funny. I'm scared to hit play on this, but okay, he posted it. Sackhead Sean, and he has posted it. I don't know if anybody remembers of the television show In Living Color. And shit, I can't. I'm drawing a blank now all of a sudden. Trying to remember. One of the comedians did would dress up as a woman. Jamie Foxx. And it was like that really weird woman that every man would run from, it so strong would grab and yank him back. Well, last night during the show, we had Lusty Dominique call on Sackhead Radio. And he's got that bit thrown up there. Well, not bit, but that phone call. And it's just a picture of Jamie Foxx dressed up as that. It's like this hideous black woman he's dressed up with. No, not all black women are hideous. It's just the way that he did this character. And it just matches that bit, and I can't believe he actually did that. That's too fucking funny. If you got 11 minutes, go to Sackhead Sean on Facebook. Yeah, Sackhead Sean. And just take a listen to it after my show. You will be pissing your pants laughing. I can't believe he actually did that. I was waiting. I thought it was going to be like a little puppet head, and he got a video and just overdubbed the sound. My show is going nowhere near where there's not script, but I have all these extensive notes written, as I think I've said that before. And I barely touched on the first article. I think I got the headline of Scarborough to Cruz that he needs to come around to support Trump if you want a future in politics. And I just started on the second one. And sort of like last night, the more I do it, the less I'm actually going or paying attention to even what I wrote down. It just, to me, it's kind of funny. Sorry. But yeah, if you get a chance, go to Sackhead Sean on Facebook and listen to that. You'll die laughing. But the veteran pollster says it's going to be a heavyweight, and there's going to be more fireworks in the Democrat Party, in my opinion. We've got Hillary Clinton. This is a country that wants real change for themselves. And you know what? That is such a true statement. That's what has driven the Trump movement, if you want to call it that. And that's what has driven the Bernie Sanders movement. Listen, as much as I don't want to see somebody of Bernie Sanders getting any type of position ever again, he's got a movement going, and there's people, they're sick of the establishment on both sides. Both sides are tired. It's not like, okay, just the Republicans are tired of the bullshit. The Democrats are just as tired of it. And what's funny is who really helped push this issue? Obama. His election has pushed not just on the Republican side, but also on the Democrat side, this movement of we're tired of these elitist politicians. And it really started with the election of Obama twice. I don't know how much more I could add. It's just, there is a movement going through this country, and it's right now, even on both sides, it is a nonviolent political revolution. The citizens are tired of it. And I don't know what our country is going to do if all of a sudden those on the left and those on the right finally realize to themselves, holy shit, we got to put some of our differences aside and we stand up to the government altogether, because that's going to be bad. And I'm not talking like violence and all that. I'm just saying that's when the politicians are going to shit themselves. Because if you get both sides to come together and we stop fighting, because that's what they've been doing. They've been having us fight each other instead of joining up together and putting some of our differences aside. And yes, I know some of them are pretty big differences, but you know what? If we put them aside, these politicians would have to straighten up real quick. Real quick, they would have to straighten their act up. Because they still think they have control at this point. They still think that they are in control. But they're starting to realize they're not. They're starting to go, shit, something's not right here. And if we could just put our differences aside, I doubt it will happen, but it'd be bigger than Godzilla comes stomping along. It'd be like an asteroid flying at us. It could destroy these political parties as they now stand. And we need change in our country. We need change in Canada. We need change in Europe. I'm not going to hold my breath on any of the other countries because they're not exactly democratic. And we're losing the democratic in Europe. We're losing it in the United States. We're losing it in Canada. I'm not talking about the liberal versus the conservative. I'm talking we are all losing our rights. We have governments all over the world that once valued its people's opinion. It once fought for the values of the people's opinion. And now they're doing everything they can and that's why I include you, Cal, with Trudeau, what he's doing. What I don't understand is you guys saw what was going on here in the United States. You guys know exactly what was going on. Neighbors know what's going on next door. And there was still that large group that said, we want what they have, but we're going to multiply it and get this asshole in office. And I'm not trying to insult people's intelligence. I'm not going to go that route. But some people are very easily manipulated. They could be gullible. And that's scary. That really is. I don't know. I've read through. Now, I don't go majorly in depth, reading 100 books on each subject. But I don't ever remember reading in history where so many countries were all depriving their citizens like what's going on now, and so many countries having the people rise up against them. I've read about kind of like, okay, we had England, okay, we had an uprising there, we had a little uprising in the Middle East, we had a little uprising in Asia, a little one in South America. But I've never seen where we're having the people stand up. United States, Canada, I think you're starting to see people stand up. They're seeing the danger of what's going on. Europe, all over Europe, you're having people stand up. And even some of the nations are going, shit, we screwed up. We need to change our ways. I've never seen so many people standing up against all at once. But that just goes to show how much of an infiltration we had of these people and how they... Hey, we got to vet our politicians better. We got to pay attention, people. We cannot become complacent when it comes to this. It takes time, Kel. It takes time, and it's just... You got to keep pushing it in those little groups. They become more and more and more until you have not an uprising, but you have a consensus has had enough. It's taken a while to get in the United States, but there is, even on the left side, there is people that are tired of the Obama administration. They are now admitting that he is not what he claimed to be. It's funny how quick things can go downhill, but it takes longer to go back up the hill. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am trying to make sense out of the senseless and find my cursor. There it is, and the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. Yeah, my shirt keeps riding up a little bit and bunching up. All right, I'm actually going to try, because I do want to get a couple last things in. One, my wife just found an article that I do find appalling. I know I snickered, but I find it somewhat appalling. A woman was arrested in New Jersey by New Jersey State Police because she remained silent. Here, boy. Where you at, cursor? A Philadelphia woman who was arrested after she refused to answer questions during a traffic stop in New Jersey has sued state police, claiming troopers violated basic rules by arresting her for remaining silent. She used her constitutional rights and she remained silent, and they arrested her for remaining silent. New Jersey, even though it has a Republican governor, is a Democrat liberal state. Her attorney has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit after the October 16th stop on Route 519 near the border of Pennsylvania and Warren County, New Jersey. At least 3 troopers insisted after she was pulled over that refusing to answer questions was a criminal act, according to the lawsuit. Spokesman for the state police attorney general's office, which is representing the troopers, declined to comment on the allegations. The state police spokesman said the department's internal affairs office conducts a review anytime misconduct is alleged. Your blood pressure goes up, Kel. So does mine. Kel's in the chat room saying when I talk about these stories that it brings her blood pressures up. It does mine. It brings my blood pressure up because it pisses me off. She remains silent. It is a basic right of every American, the right to remain silent. They even have to let you know in your memorandum you have the right to remain silent. And they arrested her for using that right. They said it was a criminal act for the right to remain silent. The state lawyers are saying that the officers acted in good faith. They
acted against her rights. I don't know what nationality she is. I don't know anything about this woman. I don't even care if she committed a crime at this point. They arrested her for remaining silent. Nowhere does it say, I have to answer your question. Nowhere does it say, I even have to fucking talk to you. She was pulled over because they thought she was speeding. She was asked for her license, registration, and insurance, and she provided the documents but did not answer the trooper when asked if she knew why she was being pulled over. She provided the documents by law. Nowhere in federal law or state law does it say, I have to answer, I have to speak. And she has the right to remain silent until she has obtained legal counsel. They are not affording her. This is a wrongful lawsuit. Listen, I'm not out to bash cops. That is not what I'm doing. But this is the overreach of the government and what they implant in these police head that they have the right to. It is stated, you are going to be placed under arrest if you do not answer my question, one of the troopers told her before she was handcuffed and taken to the police station. She asked if she was being detained, and one of the troopers said, yeah, obstruction. Well, yeah, false imprisonment. When she was taken to the station, a supervisor then watched the footage and released her without charges. Actually, there was, I think, 3 troopers there. That is misbehavior out of 3 of them. That doesn't mean the whole New Jersey trooper system is corrupt. But this is grounds for those 3 troopers to lose their job. They falsely imprisoned a woman for practicing her right to remain silent. Do they forget that part, the right to remain silent? That is not obstruction. She is not being questioned about is a felony committed. She was asked if she knew why she was pulled over. Well, cops don't like me. Because if you're going to give me an attitude and threaten me, I'll turn around and say I'm not a fucking mind reader. I have no fucking clue why you pulled me over. I had an officer one time pull me over, and he asked me if I was drinking today. Turned around, I said, yes, sir, I was drinking. He said, how much did you have? I said, I had 2 coffees and 1 soda. He turned around, he goes, don't be a smart ass. I turned around and said, sir, I'm not being a smart ass. You asked me if I had anything to drink today. Well, I meant about alcohol. I said, yes, and if I said no, and you found out I had 2 coffees and a soda, you can get me for lying to a police officer. And he actually turned around at that point and said, you know what, you got a point. I said, I was giving you an honest answer, and now you're going to give me a hard time? You asked me if I had anything to drink. You did not ask me if I had any alcohol. This story pisses me off. This. 3 troopers or however many troopers should be fired at least, at the minimum. At the minimum, they should be fired. And I say minimum because they did criminal acts. They wrongfully imprisoned this woman because she didn't answer their question. She turned over all the documents, which is required. She did not break the law there. It happens all over the country where they ask questions, and I do not have to answer any questions. And most officers, person's being a dickhead. Here, I'll write them a ticket and send them on their way. No, he thought he was going to be big and bad and show his authority, that he has the right to push an American citizen around. This is sickening. And I don't care that the supervisor released her without any charges. They detained her. They arrested her. That officer arrested her. I could understand if she refused to show documentation, if she refused to do anything when you're getting pulled over, then they would have a leg to stand on. This. She remained silent. What if she couldn't speak? What if she was a mute? How did those officers know? What if she does have a fear of officers, but she didn't want to be confrontational with them, so she just remained silent? She handed everything, and she just wanted to be remain silent because she was scared something would happen to her. And they always say, well, if you're just scared, just hand the documents. And that's what she did, and she got arrested. Great going, New Jersey. Thank you for making me look like shit because you acted unconstitutional. You trampled all over this woman's rights. Thank you, New Jersey, for making me look like an asshole as I've been defending you. Where's Chris Christie standing up to bitch about this and mandate the firing of these officers? I guess my phone was talking back. It is an absolute appalling. Well, getting close to the end of the show, and thank you for listening. I really do. I thank you. I know today I went on a very big tirade about the Never Trump. You have the right to practice, but you know what? Burning the country down because your nominee didn't make it. You're backing a woman, the butcher in Benghazi, and her sexual predator husband. Yeah, it does fly, Kel. It does. And now, like last night with the Southside Mutt show, it's only an hour long, but it flies by quick. I'm actually thinking about changing around and going from 2 breaks down to 1. Just put a break in at 8:30, and that's it. Because we're not getting enough airtime with it. But I don't know if I will be on tomorrow. I may have that CAT scan at 9 o'clock in the morning, and if I have it at 9, then I won't be on. I'm going to try to reschedule it so it's at least after 1 o'clock. Then I will be on tomorrow. But in case I am not on tomorrow, I want to wish everybody a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers out there. Thank you for listening. It is an honor that you allow me to give my opinion. And until either tomorrow or Monday, have a great weekend. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.